sake of creating, okay, this is home consumption, right? So I will put white here. Here we write green. Here white. Okay, date of bill of entry, which is white, or date of grant of entry in words. Now what language is this? Let us check. Whichever is earlier, whichever is later, sorry, whichever is later. I will repeat this, please concentrate. Taxable event is the date of bill of entry or the date of grant of entry in words, whichever is later. They are using the word later. So what is this situation? Let us understand. Sometimes what will happen? Arrival of ship took place on 1st February. Then master of the ship submitted import general manifest on 1st February. I told you import general manifest is a declaration about what has come. After you submit this IGM, they give you a permission. The name of the permission is entry in words. See, I didn't use this language when I was discussing that time, but remember, once you submit import general manifest, they are allowing you to enter, go for unloading of the goods. So when they ask you to unload the goods, the permission that they give you is called entry in words. But this time what happened, the ship came, but Indian port, like our Jawaharlal Nehru port, very busy. It was a peak, sale season and the entire port was busy. Somehow the port officers could not issue entry in words. So for some period they did not issue entry in words. So what did this fellow do, master of the ship? He thought, why to waste time, wait for entry in words, because there was no parking area for the ship to come. They did not give entry in words. So master of the ship thought, let me submit bill of entry on 2nd February. Okay, let me submit bill of entry on 2nd February. Anyways, they'll give me entry in words. So based on the parking space, entry in words came on 5th February. Okay, finally they said, please come on 5th February. The place got cleared, you can come now. On 5th Feb, the ship actually came and unloaded the goods. So now what is taxable event? What did I write here? Date of bill of entry or date of grant of entry in words, whichever is later. That means 5th February. This is important. Okay, now why is 5th February important? Whatever rate will apply, there are chances that on 2nd February the customs rate might have been 10%. But on 5th February it became 15%. So which rate will apply? The new rate will apply. And what is the intention of the law? Why are they saying this is taxable event? They are trying to stress on what? Completion of import. They are saying taxable event is based on completion, and whichever is later is indicating that go for completion date. So only when entry in words has come on 5th Feb, that time you could take the consignment and finally take it into Indian land. So how can you clear the duty based on 2nd Feb? So go by 5th Feb. This is one example. Now I will change the example. Next one. In India, there are some giant companies which are called large taxpayers, Reliance and other big group of companies. For them, import is a day-to-day affair. Every day ships are coming for them. Imagine such giant companies, every day master of the ship will go to their office and say, IGM, please take, my ship has come. It doesn't make sense. It's a large taxpayer. They have contributed crores of rupees of tax to the Indian government in terms of direct taxes, indirect taxes. What to do with respect to such large taxpayers? Trouble them every time the ship comes, you make them wait, then you give them, okay, please come. It doesn't look good. What to do then? In such cases, Indian authorities will give entry in words for a year together. For the large taxpayers, they will give permission. Whenever your ship comes, it can come without our permission. Entry in words will be given for a year also. Once the permission is there, entry in words is there for a year, every day one ship is coming, you will submit bill of entry. But when did entry in words come? Last year, long back, permission was given. You can change it like this. See, in my next example which I am discussing, the authority gave entry in word somewhere last year on 1st April 2012. The age of this entry in words is 365 days. Till next year it is valid. Then in that case, bill of entry you will be submitting. So let's take a prior date on 1st September 2012. See now what happened. Entry inwards has come on 1st April for 1 year, all the ships. But bill of entry based on the ship, when did you submit? 1st September. Now what is taxable event? Whichever is later. What is the language? Later. So based on this, the rate of duty will apply. So later makes a sense in both the ways. What was first example? I didn't get permission. I submitted bill of entry. Whichever is later. In this example, what happened? I got permission long back, but now the ship is coming, whichever is later. So that's what they are saying. Taxable event is whichever is later. Now when I change it to warehousing, okay, now what will I write? Taxable event is small a. Date of bill of entry, which one? Green. Okay, taxable event is date of bill of entry, green. Why am I not writing small b? What case is that? Warehousing. Means what? Entry inwards was given, goods were lying with the warehouse keeper for 2 months, everything is over. Now I decided I will take the goods out. So now how can you talk about entry inwards and all that? Entry inwards is already given. Okay, goods are in the warehouse. Without entry inwards, how will it come in the warehouse? So therefore in the second case, taxable event is clearly the date of filing of bill of entry. Which one? Green color. Green color means what? Please allow me to take the goods from the warehouse to my house. Okay, so that is the concept. Green color straight away. So this is clear now? Yeah. So based on this, we will be solving our problems. No, break will not come so fast. Just write one example. Example on that warehouse concept. Example, write down. The importer has kept the goods in the warehouse. Has kept the goods in the warehouse. Bill of entry for warehousing, yellow. Bill of entry for warehousing, yellow, is filed on 1st July 2014. Is filed on 1st July 2014. Bill of entry, green. Bill of entry, green, for removing the goods from the warehouse is filed on 10th August 2014. 10th August 2014. What is the date? What is the date for exchange rate? What is the date? 1st July, huh? Yes. Right on 1st July. Next one. What is the date? What is the date for rate of duty? What is the date for rate of duty? What will you write? 10th August. Green is important. When you are actually removing completion, look at completion. Over. Now next important chart. Sure, one question from here. Solving your customs problems will be based on this chart that we are discussing. Very important, those who are sleeping, those who are fainting. Some of you are going to the stage of fainting, huh? Lack of oxygen. Nobody? Chalo, good for you. So now very important chart. So we will now discuss computation. Okay, so for the sake of computation, the first topic is accessible value. Accessible value, the same section 14 is going to tell us. And the next topic is customs duty. Okay, we need again some more charts for all this. Accessible value, we will discuss two things. Transaction value. Transaction value. And another one we will discuss tariff value. Accepted, rejected. For this we will put chart 1. And for this we will put chart 2 to understand. As of now, did you write this down before I go further? Ready? Can I discuss? Those who can't see, listen and write. Okay. So now we are talking about accessible value. What is this? Those who have already learned service tax. What did we discuss? Section 67, do you remember? What is 67 talking about? Valuation for the sake of service tax. Because service tax charging section says service tax is attracted on value. And then we were wondering what should be value. It should be wholly in money, partly in money, then valuation rules, inclusion, exclusion. Same thing here. When we are talking about customs duty is levied on value. Now what should be the value? So there are chances that people, they try to do some mischief with the value. So law should clearly tell us what is value, on what figure is customs duty attracted. So this is a very interesting topic, and your practical question for 4 marks can come from here. Actual computation, just like how you learned how to do service tax computation, VAT computation, now you are learning customs duty computation. Okay, for this, what is the law telling? Read section 14. Section 14 has got two things. 14 subsection 1 and 14 subsection 2. We'll first finish this. Tariff value. Okay, now what did the government do? The government has fixed, central government has fixed customs duty based on physical quantity like kg, liter, etc. Okay, so what they are doing, they are saying, we are not interested in the value. At what value you have imported the goods, we are not bothered. We are telling how much the customs duty should be there based on the kgs and liters. This concept is applicable only for certain notified goods like some type of oil, brass and poppy seeds. Okay. What do you mean by poppy seeds? Those who understand Hindi, it is called khashkhash or khaskhas you call it. Okay, your mom uses it in making masala curries for you, especially non-veg. Okay. Now hungry. Now why is poppy seeds coming under this category? One of my relative, she's a teacher abroad, and she didn't know. This is a very old instance, about 8 years back. So usually people who are working abroad, what they do whenever they come to India, it means take as much food as you can to that foreign country. They make all kinds of pickles, they carry each and everything from the kitchen because they don't get it outside India. So this particular relative of mine, she happened to carry this khashkhash so that she can make non-veg curry outside India. And immediately customs officers, they stopped her and they said, you're smuggling poppy seeds. Okay, now why is poppy seeds something eye-catchy? What is wrong with poppy seeds? Important point. if you take too much of khashkash, it gives you a drug-like feeling. It works like a drug. So try after exams, eat lot of khashkash and see how it is working on you. It works like a drug. So we know that as per Indian law, you're not supposed to take drugs, maps, guns, etc. like that. So this lady, poor thing, she was taking poppy seeds, so they assumed that she's carrying drugs with her. So they stopped her and they wanted to check her. And this poppy seeds have very high value, so therefore the rules, regulations are different for this area. So they are saying with respect to some notified goods, we are not interested in the value. We will tell you what should be the customs duty. So based on per kg, per litre, some customs duty figures have been fixed by the government. So we don't have to read in detail about it. Just remember, for some notified goods, tariff values are fixed. Coming to this one, this is important. Problem is going to come from here. Your 4 marks question will come here. So what are we saying? Customs duty is attracted on the transaction value. So you imported one machine from foreign country. At what price you have imported? Transaction value. On that basis, customs duty is attracted. Transaction value is nothing but the price that you are planning to pay based on some additions, calculations, etc. That's why I've written accepted, rejected. Okay, what is wrong with this now? Accepted means the law has no problem with the price that you are paying. Whatever transaction value you are paying, on that they want you to pay customs duty. Rejected means the law is saying we are not liking the transaction value. Why? What is wrong with them? Why they are not liking? You have purchased from your relative. When you buy from your relative, at what price do you buy? Influenced price. Okay, you do not buy at market price. See, customs duty is attracted on the value of the good. But when you are buying it from your relative, you buy at a smaller price, at an influenced price. So law is saying, how can I take customs duty on that influenced price? So therefore, what word I have used? Rejected. They are rejecting that value. Then when they reject, what will they do? They will say, when the transaction value is rejected, refer valuation rules. For you, we have some custom valuation rules, and the good news is this is CA 5. Okay, chalo. So now, how will you remember when is transaction value rejected? When is it rejected? When the price is influenced. I use the word relative. Now make it more formal. Subsidiary company in India is buying goods from its holding company. Holding company and subsidiary are related to each other, sister concern. So the price is an influenced price, not a market price. Or there are chances that there is some non-monetary consideration, some other consideration is there. In that case, the transaction value is rejected and customs duty is to be paid based on valuation rules. You have to go and read valuation rules. Here we are talking about accepted transaction value. Chart 1. Now go to chart 1. I will tell you what to write down. Very important. Chart 1. For rejected, did you write buyer and seller are related? Did you write price is not the sole consideration? Here I said rejected, no. So you thought ma'am is rejecting, we'll also reject. Huh? Why it is rejected? Write 2 things there. Buyer and seller are related. So price is not the sole consideration. Price is not the sole consideration. Did you write that? Price is not the sole consideration. Price is not the sole consideration. Done? Okay, now did you put the heading? Computation of assessable value. Computation of assessable value. And in brackets, you write based on transaction value. Based on transaction value. Computation of assessable value based on transaction value. Okay, now in order to understand the next chart, you need to know some words. What are the words? Do you know this term called FOB, CIF? FOB value, CIF value. Do you understand these terms? Okay, so let's say this is some foreign country. Okay, and there is X Limited USA. And here is your India and Y Limited in India. This Y Limited is importing goods from X Limited US. So the goods are coming from here to here. The price here is called FOB price. The price, by the time the goods are reaching the Indian port, the price is called CIF price. Understand now? Okay, the price, the value of the goods at this stage is called FOB value, free on board. The value of goods at this stage is called CIF value. What is that? Cost, insurance, freight. This was free on board, this is cost, insurance, freight. What do you mean by free on board? It means, it's like this. Okay, again some ship has come and some goods are there here. Okay, now understand here. From the premises of X Limited up to the foreign port, X Limited is incurring all expenses, that local transport, and they are saying, buyer, the price at this stage is called free on board. What do you mean by free on board? That means seller is telling, for you it is free. I will take care of all expenses up to this stage. Free on board means I will take care. Who's I? The supplier. The supplier, the seller is telling, for you buyer, it is free on board. I will take care up to the stage of putting the goods into the ship here at the foreign port. That's why I am using the word free for you. But once it has gone into the ship here, this expenditure is yours. That means you have to take care of freight to bring it from foreign port to Indian port, and on the journey something can happen, so you take care of insurance. Freight and insurance. So up to this stage the value of the good is called free on board, and after that freight insurance gets added, and then the value is called cost, insurance and freight. Now customs duty is on which value? The law is telling CIF value. I will put customs duty on CIF with some additions, subtractions, etc. So now let us see what is the format. We need particulars and right side rupees column, but nothing in the rupees, into XX will put. Huge particulars, big particulars and one column right side. Write down, small a, FOB price, FOB price, right side you put triple into, triple X, and freight, in brackets you write down, transport cost, and freight, in brackets you write transport cost. But again story there, in particulars itself. When we said add freight, FOB, then we said freight. The story for freight is, again one chart, in particulars. How is the good coming? It is coming by train from a foreign country. It is coming by road from a foreign country. It is coming by water from a foreign country. Here, it is coming by air. Air is extreme right. In this case, freight is actual amount given. Whatever freight charges have been incurred, that actual amount you take. But when you're bringing the goods by air, then the law says small a, actual expenditure, small b, 20% of FOB, whichever is lower, no higher. Okay, now what is the intention of law? The law is kind. Why is it kind? When you bring the goods by air, can you imagine the freight that you pay? A very huge value, very huge freight expenditure. And what are we planning to do? End of the day, what is the computation? Value for the sake of customs duty. Imagine if the law would say, take actual expenditure, what would have happened to the final answer? It would be a very high amount because air freight is very huge. So law is telling actual expenditure or 20% of FOB, whichever is lower. If you have incurred less than 20%, great. But if the actual freight is more than 20%, we don't want to add more than 20. This is clear now? To this one more we will add. In this case, we'll put a star. If freight charges are not given, for everything you can write a common note. In particulars only, our particulars should be huge. We are writing a lot of stories now, be careful. If freight charges are not given, what to do? They don't say no, he bought it for free, I think. Who will give him free because from a different country it is coming. So don't say it came free. He has incurred. But the problem is silent on freight charges. We don't know freight charges. What to do? When freight charges are not given, irrespective of air or water, please take 20% of FOB. Clear now? Whenever the problem is silent on freight, do not skip it. Add 20% of FOB. Done? Chalo, now see the next one. First add item is over. Second add item. Add. Leave one line. Add. Insurance. Insurance. Add insurance. Again one more chart. Add insurance. Second add item is insurance. What is this chart? Amount given, amount not given. Insurance amount is given. Take actual insurance amount. Amount is not given. Problem is silent. Take 1.125% of FOB. Over. Did you write now? Make it fast. I repeat, those who can't see. If insurance amount is given in the problem, take the actual amount given. If insurance amount is not given in the problem, then simply take 1.125% of which value? FOB value. Done? Third one. Add pre-import, third edition, pre-import cost. Add pre-import cost. Add pre-import cost, third edition. Triple into, is it there? Right side. We started with FOB, we added freight, we added insurance. Now third item is pre-import cost. What do you mean by pre-import? In my example, our Y Limited in India is asking for a machine from USA. But the supplier of the machine said that design of the machine we are not understanding. So what you do, you hire some engineers in India, ask them to design the machine, tell us all the specifications, drawings, send it to us, we'll make and give it to you. This is what they said. So this fellow agreed. The buyer hired some people and he has incurred all that expenditure, sent it, and finally the machine is coming. Now you tell me, when the law wants to put customs duty, they are interested in the value of the machine. And what is contributing to the value of the machine? That drawing is contributing? Right. So therefore this third item is all pre-import cost. Whatever either the seller is incurring or the buyer is incurring to import that good, whatever cost is incurred, that also you add and then give customs duty to us. So they are making us add this. After adding this, you write down the result is called CIF value. The result is CIF value in foreign currency. CIF value in foreign currency. Write down one more line which you already know. The above value shall be converted. Above value shall be converted into Indian currency. By applying CBEC exchange rate. By applying CBEC exchange rate as on the date of filing bill of entry. Please write the color in brackets. Which color? White or yellow? Green will never come here for exchange rate. White or yellow? See, I didn't stop here. Now what did we get? CIF value in Indian currency. But what are we planning to arrive at? Accessible value. Still the chart is going on. Next line. Add landing charges. Add landing charges, which is 1% of CIF value in Indian currency, which is 1% of CIF value in Indian currency. Clear? Now write in brackets one more important point. What is that? Actual landing charges are irrelevant. Actual landing charges are irrelevant. What is this landing here? Freight is there, insurance is there. What is landing? Loading, unloading. From the ship it has to come. On the Indian port when it is coming, they have to do the unloading. For that unloading they are taking 1%. See, actual charges they might be higher or lesser, but for the sake of customs duty they are saying add 1%. So far how many percentages we learned? Freight we learned 20% of FOB. Insurance we have learned 1.125% of FOB. And CIF we are learning 1%. One more add. Barge charges. B-A-R-G-E. Barge. B-A-R-G-E. Barge charges. Actual amount. We'll see. Okay. Write down the result is accessible value. Finally, we got the answer. Accessible value. That means taxable value. On this you have to pay customs duty. Done? Okay. Now what do you mean by barge charges? Okay, see the big ship has come. It has come to, let's say this is our again Indian port. The big ship has reached up to this point. Now they have to come and drop the goods here. But unfortunately, here water level has fallen down. Okay, it happens, no? Bad climate, water is too low. When water is too low, the big ship cannot sail and come up to this point. It will stand here only. Now, how to throw the goods here? Tell me. What to do? Okay, the big vessel will call Chota ship. Because Chota ship can sail even at low water level. Or they will hire some additional human labor who will walk in the water and bring the goods up to the port level. This is called barge charges. Okay, but this barge charges may not be there every time. So that's why accessible accessible value usually is 101% of CIF. Do you agree? What is this? If we assume barge charges are not there, then straight away accessible value is 101% of CIF. What is 101? Yeah, 1% is at landing charges. So 101 of CIF. But for CIF, what did we do? FOB, freight, insurance, pre-import cost. Three things we added. So now we are ready with chart 1. Quickly do one example. FOB is $10,000. Example. FOB is $10,000. Exchange rate is 55. Exchange rate is 55. Air freight. Air freight. $2,500. Insurance. Insurance $1,000. Insurance $1,000. Compute accessible value. Compute accessible value. Chalo, let's do FOB right side. We want everything in dollars right now. FOB right side you put $10,000. FOB 10,000. And air freight. We are solving the problem here. Add air freight. Underline air freight. Small a. Actual expenditure. Small a. Actual expenditure. Inner column or inner side $2,500. Small b. 20% of FOB $2,000. Whichever is lower. Put 2,000. Add insurance. Add insurance 1,000. CIF in foreign currency 13,000. CIF in foreign currency 13,000. 13. Okay, now write down. CIF in Indian currency. CIF in Indian currency 13,000 into 55. Yeah, 7,15,000. Add landing charges. Add landing charges. 1% of CIF. Add landing charges 1% of CIF. So you please take 7,15,000 into 1%. 7,150. Okay, accessible value. Close it. Just change the example now, write down. Assume in the above example, ocean freight is $2,500. Ocean freight is $2,500. Ocean freight by water. Then what happened? Then in that case you need not take 20% of FOB. Actually you should take. So quickly write down FOB 10,000. ocean freight. Add ocean freight, 2,500. Add insurance, 1,000. CIF and foreign currency. CIF and foreign currency, how much? 13,500. Converted into Indian currency.
7,42,000.
Yeah. 7,42,500. 7,42,500. Add landing charges, 1%. Landing charges 1%. Accessible value. So we learned a very important format and expected to come in the exam one question from here. But what about customs duty? We haven't done that, right? So now chart 2. We will take break at 4:30. Okay, so not bad here, because I know once you take a break to settle down again, it become a problem. Let's learn the second chart and then take a break. So put a heading chart 2. Customs duty liability. Okay, customs duty liability. Very important, again a question from here can come. Please copy whatever I write down on the board. Serial number, heading up. I just told Naya customs duty liability. Chart 2, customs duty liability. Serial number, what is the name of the duty, what section it is, and what is the percentage given, and then of what value, of what value. So we'll call it A, B, C, D. Why people started talking? I said break after this note, 5 minutes you can't bear. It looks Greek and Latin to you right now, but very easy. After 10 minutes, it will be in your pocket. Can't see. Okay, wait. When I discuss, you can write. Those who can see, please write. Those who can't see, wait for 5 minutes. Again, what happened here? Huh? Every 2 minutes, you started jumping. I know some mischievous students are always there. This class is a special class, where that means very high level of concentration needed, very high level of patience needed. I know some of you take it as a chance to meet the friends. Special class, amendment class, bole to, chalo guys, call all the friends, please come, we'll have nice time, we'll do some mischief in the class. That excitement is altogether different. I know staying at home for the last few days is very difficult. So you wait for a chance like this. No? Over. Chalo, now let's discuss. Okay, see now you will not get full marks. Value you have concentrate very well, but for duty you are not concentrating, then it will become a problem. Concentrate now. So we are talking about 4 things here. This is basic customs duty, which section 12 is telling. Section 12 is the charging section, which is saying that refer schedule 1, schedule 2 of customs tariff act and apply the rate that we are talking about. So as of now, the rate you can say is 10%. Follow the problem. If the problem says it is some other rate, take it. Because see, it's not a single bare rate based on what kind of goods. If you buy the goods for home consumption, the rate is different. If you buy the goods for agriculture purpose, it's different. For industrial purpose, it is different. If it is luxury high-end cars, then the rate is different. So I can't discuss the rates here. So what we will say, it is 10% usually, but whatever problem says, you follow that. On what should I put 10%? So let us assume that my assessable value after all calculations is 10,000 rupees. Then I am saying basic customs duty is 12% of 10,000. Okay. But customs law is not stopping here. They are very bad. What they are saying, we will take some more taxes from you. Who's taking? Customs department. They are talking about a second type of tax which is called countervailing duty, CDD. Countervailing duty is similar to excise duty. What is the intention of the lawmakers? Why are they taking this duty from you? Because, see, imagine if a particular company is manufacturing a good in India, what tax they have to pay? Excise duty on it. But Indians are importing that type of good from foreign country. And see, when you import that type of good from foreign country, there is no excise duty on it. How will it affect the domestic market? It will affect, unfair competition will start. Imported goods will have more demand when compared to local goods, because local goods are suffering excise duty, but on imported goods there is no excise duty. So to protect the interest of domestic manufacturers, custom law is telling we will take one more duty from you which is equivalent to excise duty. So countervailing duty is to protect the interest of domestic manufacturers, therefore they are taking which is equal to excise duty. That means when we use the word equivalent to excise duty, you have to follow the rules which are there in excise law. If excise law says we will do excise duty computation on the basis of MRP, here we should consider MRP. If excise law is telling the government wants to give internal abatement, 30% exemption, then you should follow that abatement concept here. So whatever excise law is telling, apply those rules here and arrive at that duty. As of now, it is 12%. 12% of what? 12% of value. And value means what? After reaching India, you bought the good for 10,000, but in order to cross the customs area, you are paying customs duty. So on all that put together, excise duty is attracted. Therefore, what did we write? Excise duty is 12% of what? Sorry, basic customs duty, I should have put 10 here. 10% of 10,000 is basic customs duty, that is coming to how much? 1,000 rupees. See now, CVD will be equal to, assume excise rate is 12%, 12% of 10,000 plus 1,000. Because in order to reach the country, you have to pay customs duty. That customs duty will become part of the value. Excise duty will be attracted on that. So now you will say this is bad, tax on tax. Don't worry, if the importer is a manufacturer, he will be eligible for CENVAT credit. Just like in VAT you have learned that you get input tax credit of taxes already paid by you. Similarly, this tax which you are paying, you will be eligible for CENVAT credit. So double taxation and all will be taken care. Don't worry about all that right now. So right now, CVD is excise duty, which is 12% of 10,000 plus 1,000. What is 10,000? Assessable value. What is 1,000? Customs duty. On all this put together, excise duty. Who's taking this? Customs department. After this, after reading A, B, please go to D. not C. Okay, so because the C is special CVD, countervailing duty, or which is also known as special additional duty, which is nothing but equivalent to VAT. Again, what is happening here? They are comparing with local goods. If local goods are sold in India, on manufacture there is excise duty, on its sale there is VAT. Now if you import the goods, again it will become unfair if you don't apply these taxes on such import. So in order to discourage imports and to build a fair competition, the customs law is telling we'll take VAT also from the importer. So this special CVD, special countervailing duty or special additional duty under section 3 subsection 5 is equivalent to VAT to make the imported goods on par with local goods. So you have to take VAT rate. How much they are saying? 4%. Okay, and then education says 3%. Now we know one basic concept. Education cess is applied on which tax? Those taxes which go to central government. What are they? Name a few. Direct tax like income tax, wealth tax, indirect taxes like excise, customs, service tax. Is it attracted on VAT? Because VAT goes to whom? State government. So therefore we should now say arrive at education cess. Education cess is 3% of our customs duty 1000 plus excise duty. Excise duty 12% of 11,000 is how much roughly? 1320. Education cess is 3% of taxes which are going to central government. So what are the taxes which are going to central government? One is the basic customs duty, the next one is excise duty on that education cess. Then comes VAT. And we know VAT is the final tax that we are taking from the consumer. At what price the consumer is ready to buy the good, on that VAT is attracted. So consumer is ready to buy, VAT is on assessable value 10,000, customs duty 1,000, excise duty 1320, education cess whatever figure. On this VAT is attracted at 4%. Because see, VAT is on consumption and the consumer is ready to consume the good at the final value. And final value means after adding all taxes. Be careful now. See, observe the format. Here 10% of assessable value. Here excise duty is on value plus customs. Education cess is on the taxes which are going to the central government. Customs duty and excise duty. Education cess is never on value. Remember, we are not taking on value. VAT is on the final figure. Final figure means everything you add. To the value, add everything. On that, you take 4%. Okay, is the concept clear now? Yes. One second. We will do some examples and understand. Write down example. X Limited imported chemicals worth rupees no dollars, worth $10,000. Air freight $3,000. Air freight $3,000. Insurance $300. Import cost incurred up to the place of import $700. Local transport cost 20,000 rupees. Bill of entry is filed on BOE, use shortcut. Bill of entry is filed on 23rd Jan 2014. Bill of entry is filed on 23rd Jan 2014. Entry in words. Entry in words is granted on 24th Jan 2014. 24th Jan 2014. Exchange rate. Three columns heading you put date. First column heading date, next column heading RBI, another column heading CBEC. Which column we want? CBEC. We are not interested in RBI. Which date we want? For exchange rate purpose, it is simply the date of bill of entry. But for the sake of rate of duty, what rate is applicable? Whichever is later. Okay, we'll see now. Write down. Date you write 23rd Jan. 23rd Jan. RBI you put 49. CBEC you put 48. 24th Jan. RBI you put 51. CBEC you put 50. And if there is space in the same table, besides CBEC, write rate of duty also. Rate of duty, besides CBEC word, rate of duty you write. On 23rd Jan, it will be 8%. 23rd Jan you put 8% and 24th Jan you put 10%. Okay, is it clear? On 23rd Jan we filed the bill of entry. That time what was the rate? Customs rate 8%. Next day it became 10%. Which one we want? Whichever is later. So this question is a combination of what all you tell me. Taxable event, we have to take care of that. We have to do computation of accessible value. We have to do computation of customs duty. So one problem, it is teaching us three things. So very important problem. Those who are sleeping, at least now you get up. Okay, chalo, write down. Put the heading. Computation of accessible value. Computation of accessible value. Particulars, rupees. Carefully get involved. FOB. FOB. First it will be in which value? Foreign currency. Then we will convert. FOB put 10,000 right side. Add what? Prime. Which prime? Air. Air means what? Small a. Small a. Actual. Actual. 3,000. Inner column, yeah. Small a or small b, whichever is lower. Now students are getting tired. Small a, inner column. Actual 3,000. Small b. 20% off. 20% off FOB. 20% off FOB. Whichever is lower. How much? 2,000. 2,000. Add insurance. Insurance. How much it is? It is already given in the problem. When it is not given, we take 1.125%. So you take how much? 300. 300. Write down CIF in foreign currency. Pre-import cost we did not take. Okay. So please add. Yes. See, those people are not sleeping. Teacher is sleeping now. Okay. So please write down. Add pre-import cost. Add pre-import cost. How much? 700. Very good. People are understanding that means 700. What is this? CIF in foreign currency. CIF in foreign currency. How much it is coming to? 13,000. Next line. Above amount into which rate? Pick up the right rate. Exchange rate. 48. 48. What is that? Exchange rate of CBEC on the date of bill of entry. Bill of entry exchange rate. So please take into 48. That is coming to 6,24,000. 6,24,000. Add landing charges. Don't wait for the problem to tell you, please add landing charges. Automatically you should do it. How much is landing charges? 1% of above. So that is coming to 6240. 6240. So assessable value is, March is not given in the problem. No, water level is good in India, so no bar charges. So no problem. Add bar charges nil. Assessable value 6,30,240. Now concentrate. Put the heading. Computation of duty. Computation of duty. Okay, start writing. First one, A. We have to follow this format. Particulars, rupees. Use this nomenclature, capital A you put, so that we can refer into A, into B, plus BC, like that we'll use. So put capital A and write down assessable value, right side 6,30,240. Just write, keep it ready. Assessable value 630,240, right side. Draw one line and close the number. We will not add anything to it, but we will use this number. Okay. So next one, capital B. Capital B. What is this? BCD, Basic Customs Duty. Under which section? Section 12 of which act? Customs Act. Which year? 1962. Okay. BCD. Now write down. Write something. Put a star and write down. As per section 15. As per section 15. The rate of duty. The rate of duty on the date of bill of entry, on the date of bill of entry, or entry inwards, whichever is later should be considered. Whichever is later should be considered. So write down capital B is equal to capital A into 10%. Basic customs duty, assume 10%. If the problem gives, take it. Otherwise, take 10%. So this is coming to 63,024. Capital C. Capital C. CVD. What is this? Excise duty. Under which section? Section 3, subsection 1. Write down. Capital C is equal to A plus B into 12%. A plus B into 12%. So you take 6,30,240 plus 63,024 into 12%. Okay, that is coming to 83,192. 83,192. Next one. Immediately which one should come? Education says. For the sake of writing, I have written VAT here. But don't take VAT now. First take education says. Education says B plus C into 3%. B plus C into 3%. So take 3% of 63,024 plus 83,192. 3% is coming to 4386. 4386. Now comes what? VAT. What is the name of VAT? Write down special CVD, special CVD, or other name, one more name is there. Additional duty. SAD. Very sad. Write down. SAD. 4% of A plus B plus C plus D. 4% of everything above. A plus B plus C plus D. That is coming to 31,234. 31,234. Did you observe we did not take local transport? Right? There in the question some local transport was also given. After it has come to India on the road from the port to the factory, we should not take local transport. So total duty is 181,836. Is it right? Calculators you will not bring for special class, I know. 181,836 done. Chalo, now you quickly take a 10 minutes break and come back for rest of customs duty and beginning of excise duty. We will do some more customs duty, 1 hour at least, and then we will do another 1 hour of excise duty. We have another 2 hour session, 2.5 hours, okay? Based on, as you are all aware, I have a small kid at home, very small. So, for the first time, left her for such a long duration. Okay, so she is fine as of now. Chalo. Thank you so much. Come back immediately.